Namaskaram, my dear friends. I'm happy to be in live in the interviews series session. And let's invite Namaskaram, Jesh ji. So happy to see you and thank you for coming. Thank you for
Me
being
also, me also, me also. So happy to be here, Mahesh. My
This is
pleasure.
the episode 2 of my initiative called Lockdown Interview Series. And my dear friends, I'm really so happy to introduce my soul brother, I would say, and a big giant of the brain of the brain, CEO and founder of the ANIBRAIN company, which is the India's pride, where you could see since 12 years they joined with this international frame stores, where uh, he founded the Mokomi, which has 2 million views per month, and the music, I mean the brains behind the ANIBRAIN, India's pride, mr.Jesh ji. Namaste.
Namaste, namaste, Mahesh. How are you?
I'm doing
How
good.
I have enjoyed watching your video. There was one video I saw of yours, Mahesh, where I don't know, you just had this whole bunch of toys. You've taken all these whole bunch of toys. You're so crazy. You've taken all these toys and you were playing them. It was awesome. I loved it.
Thank you so much. It's actually a toys for boys collection, and where like I used to collect all the musical toys of mine, and I have some of that in our today's episode. I'll show you some surprises
Yeah,
also.
yeah. I was hoping you would have brought some of them because I
Please,
was I
yeah,
was really fascinated by that. I was
great,
very yeah.
amazing. So we'll get started. So I always start with a small invocation. So I'll start with a small invocation, and then we can go with the interesting talk. श्रुति स्मृति श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. So, thank you so much for coming, and I would like to. This is a new initiative, JSD, that I wanted to start to tell the people about creating positive approach in their lifestyle in this pandemic situation. So I'm so fortunate that it started, and then I'm so happy that you're here because you come from a very beautiful lineage of creative, and talking about brain, it's so relevant with you. As you say, I would like to ask you to introduce your field so that people get to know where is the background, and the idea is to all create all the creative art people together. For example, in a social media, it's not only the singers or dancers or percussion player that we can be proactive, or it can be that we use the creative everywhere in walks of life, starting from anywhere in the walks of life, people use their creativity. So in that way, I would wanted to address and also ask the different set of people in their lifestyle how they the creative and creativity is all about, and how that could be connected, and how that can be exchanged through the views. Over to you, Cheshire.
So what did you want to know? Did you want to know a little bit about what I do? Is that sorry? I
Yes,
didn't quite
please.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So what I do, I guess I'm an animator, technically, whatever that means. And I have been working in films for almost 30 years, Mahesh.
Wow.
And spent a lot of time in the West, working on. I was working in Hollywood doing stuff and creating effects for films. Did that for a number of years, about 14, 15 years there. Came back to India. I was a bit of a crazy kid. I literally had just a big dream, and I just came and I set up uh, ANIBRAIN in the country. And in 15 years, I think there are a few other companies, a handful of other companies, and what we've done is we've put India on the map as far as Hollywood is concerned, as far as VFX is concerned. And it's been a fantastic journey, because to watch an industry where when I first started, people didn't want to send any work to India. It was very difficult for them to trust. But in the last decade and a half, there is no Hollywood film that gets made, big or small, that doesn't come via India today, and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. So that's it's amazing to have watched that. It's really amazing to have watched that.
And that's the baby you conceive, the Annie brain, the India's brain, where like you have been, your company has done all the big production, King Arthur, The Beauty and the Beast, you name it, Guardian Angels and The Stranger, Superman, Spider-Man, all the animated movies are done by and it's so brilliant. So talking about this today's interview connection, like what is creativity in your perspective in of your life?
Oh my God, what is creativity? These are very big questions. Actually, it's
It's just
it's
to share
it's
the
it's like a question like what is art? Every day there's a new definition of it. Actually, what is I think about that question a lot. What is art? And
yeah.
it's pretty interesting. But what is creativity? I think creativity is being still till you can hear the voice
Hmm.
to move.
Okay.
It is being still and hearing that voice that says, okay, this is where you got to go. So I think
Hmm.
creativity is a lot of stillness. Actually, it comes from stillness.
Beautiful. Like
Mahesh,
it comes from the space, like how
yes,
math is produced in between the spaces. It comes from stillness. That's
it comes
amazing.
from that space. Yeah, 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 it comes from space. And also, if I were to say what is creativity, it's playing with what's out there. It's just playing. It's just seeing it from a different angle rather than what you've been trained to look at and trained to see.
Hmm.
So it's very hard. In fact, I probably had a better definition of art and creativity 10 years ago. I have a lesser definition of what it is today. I can't explain it today because it's not something you can pen down. You can't write about it. You
True.
can't convey it, Mahesh. I mean, how do
True.
you get inspired? It's
Exactly.
inspiration. How do you get inspired? Is years of training, years of practice, getting really good at what it is, and
Hmm.
then it becomes natural, no? It
Very
becomes
true.
natural, and then when it
Yeah.
becomes natural, you're able to allow it to take over you rather than you trying to control it. It controls you. Then it comes from you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So when we talk about the creation and also the imagination, inspiration comes through. So what is your base inspiration for any work? Like for example, if you ask me, my dad is my role model. I see them, and then I have some role models who have like Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, all the way out of box. He just took Indian music into a completely entire different discipline. That's why I got inspired. Like seeing a Indian ethnic dress, Indian wear coming in a completely hip hop and hippie kind of people where like in late 70s you can see George Harrison, Beatles, but in between this one, so it's like a out of box thinking. The same way, what is your personal experience of inspiration in your daily activities or daily lifestyle?
I would say it's being in love.
Wow.
It is being in love with life. That's the easiest thing I can tell you. It's just being in love, because it is in that place. And I don't mean love but mushy love or whatever. It's just like it's being honest and it's being true to yourself.
Hmm.
That today is the source of my inspiration. Again, the stillness. But I think if I were to look back over the years, who are
Mm,
the people that I've truly admired? I would not have answered this 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but I think the person I probably admire the most today
mm,
was my father, actually, because he was a crazy guy who did his own number and was so bold and so amazing and so incredible. And I had a weird relationship with him growing up, but over the years, and especially after he's gone, I've realized that the number of gifts he gave me,
mm.
being who he was, so I
Yeah,
would say my dad was one. Then also I would say um, spirituality would be the other, Mahesh, for me, because it's creation is a gift. Actually, you don't create; you just watch creation. You don't create; you watch creation.
beautiful.
And so I would say that the huge amounts of time I've spent alone, the
Wow.
various teachers who have held my hand through that also. So whatever little creativity I have, I think it again comes from that space, Mahesh. It is staying in the space.
Staying in space.
It's staying in the
Stillness
space.
and
Yeah,
space and beautiful.
yeah, it's staying in space.
Beautiful. And can you share any one of the experiences where, like, in such situations that India has, because as you said, like let's say 25 years or before, any Hollywood movie would not recognize Indian thing. Where like after a great effort, now we could proudly say that India's participation is there. I could see because I'm also traveling extensively. You go to London, you just you want to book a ticket, then you ask a call, and then the call comes to next to my town in Ambattur or in Annanagar or in Bangalore. Some freak will just take a call and say that, hi, I'm Smita, but speaking in a British accent. So this is India's pride, where like it started later years, where Indian brains are everywhere. I would say that starting from any walks of life, the Indian participation is much bigger in that way. So can you share any one experience where like it put India, because you're the people who are really taking India's pride into a completely entire different international platforms and animation movies and Hollywood, which are supposed to be the biggest in the globe. So would you share some of the experience where like India's pride that you were so proud moment of yours?
See, there are many actually. There are many.
I'm
So I'll try and give you a couple to give you some perspective of how this industry has actually the VFX animation industry has grown in the country. I think the biggest source of pride for me was 15 years ago when I started the company was to bring the first movie into India. The
what was
first the
that?
first a movie called Highlander,
Oh wow.
and because it was very difficult back then to convince anybody to send a film to India. It was very, very difficult back then. So I will never forget that because that was the first hurdle that I crossed. Of course, I think if you look at a movie like Blade Runner 2049, won the Academy Award a couple of years ago. We worked on it, and with our partner studio Framestore and a bunch of other companies across the world. So we've seen that. I've seen that spectrum, where you get a tiny film, but that's a start, and then after 13 years or whatever, you work on a project that goes on to win the Academy Award for best visual effects. That because but all of these are very surreal journeys. I'm sure that when you get there, when you achieve that, um, uh, I realized that didn't make me happy. I was already happy doing what I was doing, and that was just another thing that came on. I said, okay, great, that's nice. It's nice, but it wasn't the thing that says, okay, I'm going to now put my feet up and retire, because I think the joy of creation far
Hmm.
outweighs the joy of any award or any recognition or anything of that sort, doesn't it, Mahesh? Don't you find that?
Exactly. Yeah, very
Huh?
true. Very true. And I would like to show my friends that I have always been collecting instruments. So I would like to show my people what is this all about.
Oh
Zenzula, my
wow!
dear friends,
Yeah.
this is the one where Jesh ji presented me when I saw him in the first sight love. So love for the music, love for the art, the real art lovers. So when he saw me, when he invited me to his premises of his workspace, where like I was blown away by the setup of the office. So for me, it's a new kind of inspiration. So I wanted to play something on this so that he can also be people also get to know. And just to let you know that I have been collecting instruments. The Zenzula is nothing but the breed and also the family of kalimba. Kalimba is an African instrument, and it's a live kalimba. I also have a live kalimba. As Okema is another brand which provides and which comes out with a pickup mic and the thing. And this Zenzola is also another company which comes with all this recycled tin, and it has a very beautiful tone. So I would like to play a tune on this, and I would like to dedicate this for my dear friend Shri.
No.
Sunny sa sunny sa sunny sa sunny sa sa pa. Mama pa. Sunny sa sunny sa sunny sa sunny sa sa. And it also got a wow feeling. You can see that. Ni sa ga sa ga sa ni sa ga sa ga pa pa ma ga ga sa ni sa ni sa ga sa ni sa ga sa ni sa ni pa ma sa ga ma pa Zenzula. That's Zenzula for you. And just a small intro of the instrument. Thank you
Well
much
done,
for
well
this
done, well
lovely
done,
gift.
Mahesh. You passed.
Please.
That was very
Thank
good.
you. And also another one just for my collection to say.
Oh,
And
what's
like
that?
this, I've got a very lovely friends and lovely souls who connect with me. So this is a present from Germany, from an Iranian instrument player, percussion player called Hakim Ludin, and it's called Lulu Udu. Udu is an African instrument. Somehow, Africa and India has a great musical journey. So this is like a skin inside, and this, and I can't play like this, but you can hear the tone. And then if you could see the signs, the wave which just goes inside, and then we play around that wave, like that's one sound, and then say. So this is just a
So
small pinch of.
I have a question for you, Mahesh.
Yes,
I have
please.
a question for you. And that's something I wondered often is what was it like for you growing up with your dad? How did you pick these instruments? Like how was it? I've been very curious to ask you this, but I never got a chance.
It's a very interesting story that it just like it's because of my grandfather, my dad's dad, Mr. T.R. Harihara Sharma, who's the boon and also the Adi Guru of our lineage. And he's a very beautiful soul. And I have always been feeling his presence in me because he's a very good soul where like he encourages everybody. He doesn't discourage anybody. He says that when somebody comes to him and say that, okay, I want to learn Gatam, he will say, oh, wow, you have a good hands for Mridangam. So why don't you learn Mridangam? He will never say that you can't do it. So he says that you don't have any rights to say somebody that you can't do it or you don't, because it's not, you can't take copyright of Saraswati. So we are three brothers. So he just told that first brother that he is a Dirgadarshi. He can see things in a very greater way. So what we see, just because we have Netra, this is Netra, just because we have eyes, it's not that. What we see does matter. Chakshu is what you see. So that's called, that turns into vision. So that's how he's Dirgadarshi. He could smell, he could see a longer way. So he said, "You're three brothers. First brother, the fingers are very bigger. So don't take Mridangam because there are big three geniuses already there." And Shivaramanji, three geniuses are already there. So to come across, it takes several years of lot of practice. So better take Kanjira. Kanjira is an tambourine instrument. He said, "You take that and you will succeed." And the Remo Kanjira, what is all in the United now in the globe, is all our production. So Remo Kanjira
You have
and
to
also
get
the
me
other.
the key for that. You have to
Oh,
get me the
sure.
key for that. Okay,
I have to find, I have to get the key. So that's
lo-
there. And the second brother is Uma Shankar. So he said somebody has to take the father's legacy of Gautam. So he said, you better take that. And then he told me that we are lacking in melody. So all our people and all our families are filled with rhythm. So you're already singing. So please do take music, which is the melodic expression, but sense the rhythm inside. Shruti Mata Layapita. It's uh, it's the whole line of the feminine and masculine energy in the end come together. It's a confluence. So he said that you take the rhythm inside, but you experience and also come out with singing because you're singing it. So take vocal as your mainstream and take all the instruments inside, and you will come out in a different perspective. And also he told my mom, this is very important. He told my mom that please do take care of this boy. He's quite really hyper, and if you don't show him love, he will take drugs. He told me. He said, if you show him love, he'll be a yogi. So this is his perception towards tears on me.
Amazing, amazing,
So
amazing.
I've always been on this hyper note. So I sense it, and after 19 years and 20th year, after my first college, I was like really going here and there, and then I could not know what my journey was. Then one day suddenly it just got into me, and when I took my first flight with my teacher as accompaniment to the teacher, I went with a teacher who is a Bharatanatyam teacher. I was singing just as a Sishya to accompany him. The first flight I went to America tour on 20 years. I was there when I was in first year college. So after I came back, it was a transition. I said, okay, this is my journey. I want to start music. Until that, I had learned music, but I didn't give attention. So from there, I started learning. So I got a scholarship from the central government. Then I got initiated by the big teacher called M.S. Subbulakshmi's daughter. Radhaji is my teacher. I took an advanced lesson. Then I went in deep, and then I went all the Carnatic hardcore stuff. I went in, but I didn't want to get stuck with that frame of saying that I'm just a traditional music. I want to be like my dad, because my dad always says that just because you wear a t-shirt or a jean, you can't say that you're American. Your sensibility and the real key is inside. So you can be yourself, you can be you, but the perception starts only from inside. Mahatma says the same. The change you can't tell others to change. Saying, oh, I'm in this mood. Please don't, disturb. He said, like, there is nothing in disturbance. If you go to Himalayas and still you think that it will be a complete disturbance. Instead, if you find the peace inside, you can share that, and then the change will really happen. The
Yeah,
change is the only thing which happens that
yeah,
does not change. So
yeah,
that change,
yeah,
if you really want that change to happen, you try to change your pattern of your perception. So like that, he was so perseverance, with high perseverance, he took his Gatam into a global platform. So
yeah.
like that, I wanted to really take that line and said, okay, I took the grammar. I did 6 years of hardcore. Now I had this strong feeling of my identity. So I said that whenever you start learning with the teacher, what happens is, with the due respect, I'm saying, you start, wearing like a teacher. You start singing like a teacher. So at a time, when the time passes, you are no more. Your inside is completely like saying that, oh, you'll be so high when you say that you're singing like that. I said it's fine to a level of comparison, but still I'm me. I'm here for my reason. I'm here for my journey. I don't know where's my destination, but I'm really completely enjoying my life of each and every step what I do. I see people are coming and parenting is happening. It's not you teaching the children. It's like I'm learning from the children. So we are learning together. So if you say so much hi, so I want to be a student forever, like how my
Yeah,
father is.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
You,
the interesting story behind this.
yeah. I have
Maybe
a
it's
question.
long. I'm very sorry.
No, no, it's
It's
really
your
good.
time, but it
No,
took
I have a few more questions for you. Actually, I came with
oh,
questions for you too.
please,
But
please.
you said something very interesting, which I have wondered a lot about over the years. Is you use the word shishya. Can
Yeah,
you tell me a little
disciples.
bit? Yeah. So can you tell me what was that like being a shishya for you, and what does it mean today also?
Okay.
Because that's something that's very interesting to I find that very interesting, that whole openness to learn, constantly learn.
True. And we belong to a very simple South Indian family, literally a traditional South Indian family in Chennai, proper Chennai. And we lived in a 2 by 2. Can't believe, like my same style of my studio, what I'm really having now. And 26 people stayed there. Can you
Oh
believe?
my God.
So my dad, my uncle, blood brother
How?
Subhash Chandra.
How? How?
So when you accept here, you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
accept.
yeah.
But now everything is there, and then we demand so much when there is no situational
No, but
brilliance.
you said how many? Two square
26
meters.
people, like two, just
In
like a.
how big?
We lived it, and
Ah,
even now
okay.
it's turned into a music school there. It's in Pillayar Kovil Street, 74, in Triplicane area. So my father, my uncle Subhashji, his children, his wife and children's. So other uncle Gurumurthy ji, his children, and there, and my attai, my father and my aunt are twins. So his sons, we all stay together. So it's a completely entire, just like a small sandwich. First floor, ground floor is the school, what we call it as Shri Jaya Ganesh Tala Vadya Vidyalaya. And then first floor is Vikuji's legacy. Second is Subhash Ji's, and then Gurumurthy Ji, and then the attic. So the whole, we could say that
Oh, you went up, huh? Yeah.
complete utility. Like
Yeah,
if you
okay.
take a SIM card and then you
I
use it
understand.
for until the last second. So this was the thing, and that made me the schedule would be on the 5:30 in the morning. So the boys have to get up and we have to clean it, and all the sishyas used to come on a different timings. Like this is called classes. So the percussion class starts on the morning. So 5:30 to 6:30, one set of class. 6:30 to 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, and then it's a break. And then from there, senior students will come on the noon. It will go there, and then evening is the small class, and then we go for the concert. So once a foreign student comes, so he literally stays in one of the mansion. You know that mansion, Triplicane area is so popular about mansion. So the joint living and then sub rents. So it's a small like a gully. So this guy comes morning fully. He's loaded with lessons. Afternoon new lesson, and then he accompanies his teacher to go. So like this, he's fully loaded with the live lesson for 6 months, and then he goes back to this country, puts out all the learning and just revive everything for 1.5 years, and then he's ready, and then he's upgraded for the next level version, and within 3 years he's a pro. This is how. And the same thing happened to me when the classes were going on. No, you get up also, it's the same tempo we maintain because it's going on the subconscious constantly without a break. So, and also my grandfather is a very beautiful soul. We are very simple people, but many musicians, big people, used to come and get insight. Sharma ji, he's called Harihar Sharma.
Hmm.
So I strongly feel that he is with me always because whatever I do, I have his energy, and he's a simple human being. He always encourages people and he teaches liberally. and that's the quality. And he's very very inside. He's not outside. He says that, okay, you want to do anything inside outside, first you visualize inside. There's something
That's
called Atma
amazing.
Puja. It's
That's
like whatever you
amazing.
do for that, you cleanse your soul.
Mm.
When there is God in you, it's very easy that he or she lives in me. Here I am to be here, to be aware and to reveal and to know. You just elevate your frequency, and then that's a different journey. He was also a long time yogi, so that's why yoga is not only about the outside, which is the pose. It is about the inside of frequency tuning. 98.1 becomes noisy. It's completely irrelevant to the frequency of other thing. Point one, point two, and then point three. Immediately you're high. It's like, oh, what a Dana. And then you're getting high. And goosebumps, it goes into a different level
Yeah,
altogether.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the frequency is important. In that way, I would say that my grandfather, his composition and his tutelage to the Sishyas is the impact that it just got inside to me. And now whatever is all like he told me that you like piano. Piano is a percussive instrument. It's called a percussive instrument, but its out extempo is melodic. Percussive instrument, piano. But so that's why we play down. You can play like a percussive one, but its expressions is melody. So that's why that's
Amazing,
the story.
amazing, amazing. That's great. That's great. Okay.
And
Yeah.
before we wind, I think I wanted to ask a couple of quick
Yes,
questions.
yes, of
What
course.
would be your kind of lockdown tips to our friends who have joined here, so that they can also try something in their home? Lockdown tips in this pandemic situation.
One of the things I've done, and I've read all the news and this and that and whatever, and I know it's a crazy situation and can seem very bleak and whatnot, but I think that for me, I've just stayed away from the news, to be honest, and
Wow.
like the TV and everything. I haven't watched a single movie, nothing in this time. I've just sat quietly. Probably just I wrote a lot in this time. I've written a lot in this time, Mahesh. So
Beautiful.
I think if you can find something that you really enjoy doing, then
True.
time just goes. So I think that's that. The other thing is that I truly believe that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I think that you just have to sit and allow whatever's happening to happen. If it's going to get bad, let's say in a month from now, it's going to get bad. There's no point worrying about it today, right? And
Exactly.
and
True.
so I think just being rational and having
Exactly.
common sense, and I think that you will go through good times and you will go through bad time like this, and to allow yourself
True.
to go through both. I think if you're going through a good time, you should enjoy that, and let's say you're struggling on a couple of days, then it's okay to struggle. I mean, big deal, right? I mean, what are we trying to be like? I think just be natural
True.
during this time. If you feel fearful, then you feel fearful and you talk about it, and if you feel happy, you accept. I think acceptance brings a lot of peace, Mahesh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Acceptance, as you say. I think in my lockdown, I mean, in this lockdown, I would say that this is my longest time that I have stayed in my house. So
I
I'm
drew your
completely
cartoon
cherishing
with the
all these moments, because it's the biggest thing that I am spending a very, very quality time with my children and my wife.
yes,
So we are
yes,
doing a
yes.
lot of fun. So by 9:30, the clubbing starts. So we are playing the Uno and the business games, and it's such a fun. Monopoly is the best. You hack the
Absolutely.
cards and then you do it. Uno
Absolutely.
goes on, and then the juice comes, and then this is a kind of time where like it teaches many things, so that you can express things to the children in a nicer way, so that you can sit with them, you can say, you can touch them, you can feel them. That's the biggest thing I'm doing in this
Yeah.
lockdown
Oh,
period. And also I feel that anybody who wanted to start something new can start. For example,
oh
out
yes.
of box thinking, like for example,
Yes.
if you're
Oh
writing on
yes.
right, you start writing on left. think think something new.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think, I think
And if
you
you are
got
a
the,
singer, you
yeah,
start doing gaming. I'm going to
absolutely.
start animation because I've
Absolutely.
yesterday I started with another Madam Sangeeta who started. She was just talking about animation, so I just started animating with the Canva app and the PixArt. I started doing because any creative part. So that's what my idea is, to elevate your frequency. But as you said, pandemic situation is situation, because I feel that we are connected. Like we have almost forgotten that we are cosmos. So this
Yes.
is like 70% of water, and then
Yes.
the same way the cosmos is 70% peninsula, and then the sun and moon, Sapa, Prakriti. Prakriti is immovable nodes, sun and moon, and then Riga Madani is a Vikruti, like other stars. So at the moment of the stars, the same thing happens. Not every day is easy. So the sun power on the morning, the same time you sit on the moon power. So it all the toxic comes out, like anger, like shouting, and then depression, then the tears, happy tears, and then the arrogance, all kinds of thing comes out. So for me also it's a tuning, so that I enjoy staying within myself. I really wanted to,
Yes.
because I
Yes.
want to be my friend. And I
Exactly.
revealed this fact only when I stayed in Theatre Cirque du Soleil. I stayed almost like 1.5 years away of my family, completely super schedule on daily, one day, each day concert. So I did 320 on 345. So I just had completely 1 week, which is come 7 days. So I took 1.5 day on travel, saw my children back, and then took 1.5 day back in between the schedule. So I now realize how things, and when I stood and when I stayed alone, it revealed so much
Yeah.
things on me. So I
Yeah.
started my inner discipline in such a way that I always believe that inner discipline of oneself would go, and these are the nature's gift. So the nature is teaching us, saying that this is a pause, like how you reset a phone. You can't buy a phone all the time, charge, you have to switch off. Sometimes you have to also put airplane mode, so that it gives you much more calibration of your battery. The same way this physical body is exposed to so much of radiation. So it's time that we keep it calm so that it regenerates. And with this time, we can also see, and we can also say, and we can also see that the things are happening in the different mood alter. Like how we are sitting here and moving in London time. We are getting up in 11 o'clock and then we are moving. The same thing is going on the outside, where the clear Mumbai air is now clear, and you see the Ganga flow on the Dev Prayag, the confluence of Bhagirathi. You see the water is raising, and you see the quality of us is so improving and so much in cities. So there is a mood altering happening in that. So there is a reason, knowingly, whether you know it or not, it is happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
going to the other side saying that, oh, and then, so keep yourself charging. I know it's quite challenging to independent artists like us. So just this is the fact that nature is also blessing us. It's always listening. That's why my dad and granddad say that don't ever say that you can't do it. Be positive,
Yes.
and just nature is listening. You said, oh, I can't do this. I said, you can't do it. Yeah. When you say that, when a foreigner comes here and then he sits in something and then said in ecstatic in colors and stuff, he said like, I'm not getting anything. He said, yeah, give it an atom. Be sincere to what you're doing. Be truthful. Then it would come, and then you can explain that experience in a different ecstatic
Yeah.
manner. So
Yeah.
when that is happening for him, why is it? So it's how you perceive does matter.
Yeah, but it's a very two points that you brought up, which I really liked. One is that um, for you to become an expert, or no, actually, expert's a horrible word. I don't like expert. I think for you to become natural at what you do,
Hmm.
whatever it is that you do, uh, the mind must not interfere with your performance in a sense. You know, if the second the mind comes
Exactly.
in, or like, oh my God, and then you're just totally gone. The other thing that you said, which was I think was very beautiful, Mahesh, was, and I think it is really the key to so many things, is to just learn to be your own friend. You know, I mean, how
Ah,
much time you spend with yourself, and how much of that time is spent in conflict. You know, I think those are
true.
two very beautiful things you said. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure to have you here. And with your schedule where you had to really
Not at
concentrate so
all.
much with the people, I'm so happy that this is just a small initiative of mine to share my positivity through my medium of music. And thanks for watching. And if any questions, please do text me and I can within a minute, or maybe I'm so happy. Yeah, thanks so much, JHD, for coming. And I
You're
really
welcome,
appreciate
Mahesh.
it.
Thank you so much. Keep
Thank
playing,
you.
keep playing. I keep watch. I love watching your videos. Yeah. And I hope. Oh, somebody wants you to sing a song. Somebody wants you to
Okay.
sing a song,
Okay, before
Mahesh.
that, because
Come on.
there is a bat which is going on, but anyway, I will
There's a
try
what
to.
going on?
Battery is going down, I think
Oh,
so.
that's okay.
So, but still, and this
Do
is
it
a
fast.
Portuguese percussion. It's just like a skin and a leather. It's a leather, and
Wow.
this is also an exercise. It's like a one tempo going on. It's called multitasking. This is 1 BPM. Three plus three, 6. Seven. 4 plus 3, 3 plus 4. Still the 4 that's going on. 1 BPM. 8. Maximum number 9. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Mahesh. Lots of love to
Thank you so much
you.
for coming, and
And I,
thanks for supporting this new initiative. And I'm really so glad that you came in.
not
And
at
thank you.
all.
Yeah.
I need to
Thank
come
you.
and learn from you. I need to come and spend a lot of time and learn from you.
Let's do a jam when I'm there.
And your father and
Yes.
you. I want to do that. How cool would that be, huh? That would be awesome. Great. Thanks. Thank you. Good
Thank
night. Good
you.
night. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you,
Bye.
my dear friends, for joining us. And we'll see you on the next live. Namaste.